Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're messing with the camera a little bit, so we may switch it up just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Got the hold on. I want to plug in my other camera. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. You can bring it in. You can bring it in. You can bring it in. Or did somebody knock? My parents are here. Well, and we got it. Hold on. All right, is that okay? All right. I kind of don't like the lights. All right, so what do y'all think? What do y'all think? I'm gonna get y'all opinion on it. I kind of don't like. I got the new setup. You can bring it in. Thank you, Dad. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers, everybody. It's Wednesday, man. We got a lot to discuss today. It's going to be a good one. Let me turn off that backlight because I'm just seeing the reflection. I'm in a new space. I may zoom out later so you guys can see the entire space. Hold on. Yeah, I got a cool little Kev Samuels vibe going on over here. But I don't know if I like this. All right, hold on. Are you guys cool with it? What do y'all think? I'll get y'all opinion. What do y'all think? Do you like it better like this? Nah, I don't like it. Hold on. Don't like it. All right, I like it better like that. I'm sorry. I tried to give y'all the backdrop. But we do not have time to be playing games on there. Make sure the mic is good. All right, so we're good. You guys can hear me okay. We got a lot to talk about. We're not going to play any games today. Y'all know what the title was. Y'all saw the thumbnail. We're going to talk about this entire Joy Taylor situation. What are y'all thoughts on it? But first, we're going to go through our icebreakers. Like I said, we got a lot to go on. We got other stuff to go on. Dr. Umar, we're going to touch on Dr. Umar. He's got some advice for all y'all Black women out there, specifically. Then we got Sunny hosting something that she said regarding January 6th and something that she also said on the show that may have just gotten her husband in trouble. So we're going to talk about that. Her husband's an orthopedic surgeon for all y'all. So this is more of my lane. I can talk about this situation. This is something that I see on a day-to-day basis from a lot of the doctors that I work with. So we're definitely going to touch on that. Then we're going to get into the meat of the show with Joy Taylor. Apparently, there's some allegations in a lawsuit that we're going to go over. And we're not going to go too much into the lawsuit. I read a little bit of it. There's a couple parts that I'm going to pick out and get your opinion on, but it's more so the conversation around the lawsuit and the conversations that are not happening around the lawsuit. So we're going to touch on that. Then we got a bunch of different reactions from about that situation that I want to touch on. And then we may touch on Rihanna and one of her recent posts that she put up, showcasing her lingerie line. We may talk about that. She had the butt out. I don't know if that's behavior that a mother or a woman in general should be exhibiting on social media, but that's where we are in this culture. And then we got a couple Trump mashup videos. And then we got a question of whether or not Canada is going to become a state of America. I see it more as a territory if it does end up happening. And then I want to talk about the LA fires. So we see what's going on with the LA fires. Is that a significant thing or is it not? I guess we shall decide on here. The first thing that we're going to start off with is a conversation that I saw with Dr. Umar, our favorite doctor. Let me go ahead and get that queued up. But I'm sorry, I was rude. I didn't even ask you guys how you're doing tonight. I just assumed that y'all want to get right into it. Already gave y'all the 5 minutes. getting on the show, so we can get right into it. Let me play this Dr. Umar. So the last time we saw Dr. Umar was when I think it was on Nick Cannon's show. So Dr. Umar visited Australia. He visited Australia and went on the Bittersweet podcast and had some pretty interest. He had a pretty interesting conversation that I want to highlight. I agree with some of the things. I think others are just things that he says are just hilarious. But I think it's a lot of the conversations that he has. One thing that I will give Dr. Umar credit for, a lot of the conversations that he has, I think they give us the chance to talk about certain things that are going on in relationships, especially in the Black community. He highlights a lot of things and he brings them to the forefront. So even if we don't agree with him, he still gives us the chance to unpack them by giving his perspective. He's always open and honest, and he challenges whoever he's speaking to. So let's get into a little bit of this. This will be our icebreaker. We already have it queued up, and I am very excited to get y'all thoughts on it. All right, so here we go. Make sure y'all see me on the screen. I may switch it up today. I may go, matter of fact, nah, we'll be over here. I like the first one. We may rock out like this. So we'll rock out like this for now. I may end up changing it, but it is what it is. All right, let's get into it.
These are two extreme scenarios here, because I think if a man we're talking about financial equity, if he is making enough to build a household with you, to be a leader in the household, I think women are okay with that. I think that's not what they're getting. I think they're getting the other end of the spectrum. That's what we're hearing. You know what I mean?
Would you have a problem if you met a man who made half of what you made or a third of what you made, but he had a financial vision of an empire, a business, some sort of an entrepreneurial undertaking?
See, I think that's dangerous.
Stay with me.
I think that's dangerous.
Let me finish it, and then I want you to respond. And he needed you to help invest in his dream. And he gave you a definitive timeline. He said, give me 12 months or 24, no more than that. If you invest in me, I promise you what I'm going to build will equal where you are. Would you have a problem investing in him?
What does investing in him mean?
Let's say he needed $700 a month to help fuel this dream. He needed $700 for 24 months. Could you do it?
Ladies, if you met a guy, all right, so let's give a little context. If you meet a guy, and hold up, we need chat involvement on this one. We need chat involvement on this one. But if you meet a guy, are you willing to invest in him? And I'm just repeating what Dr. Umar is saying. I'm not saying, I'm not letting y'all know yet exactly how I feel on this particular part of the conversation. But would you be willing to invest? This is what he's saying. You meet a guy, he's not your husband. You like him, he likes you. Would you be willing to invest this every month for 24 months? What did he say? $700? Would you be willing to invest $700? Let's actually do the math here. Let's do the math. 7 times 24, 140, 7 times 4. So what is that? 168. Hold on. Let me do my 700 times 24. Yep. $16,800. All right. So $16,800. Whew. Would you be willing to invest that over 2 years in a guy that's not your husband? Would you be willing to? So let's keep going with the conversation.
Reluctant.
I am reluctant because what's the guarantee?
There is no guarantees in love. There is no guarantees in romance.
And also, I think
what she's saying is, if things go left, how am I going to get my investment back?
I think context matters. How long have we been together?
I agree.
You know, if it's just a guy that I met last year and all of a sudden he has these dreams and he wants me to fund it.
Y'all been dating for about 2 years. You like him. There might even be some love there. And he's saying
there might be some love there is crazy. There has to be some love there.
Let's say there
has to be a future there. And I think that's what I'm saying. Context matters. If I see.
Okay, real quick. When she says there has to be love there, I totally agree with that. But first and foremost, what is love? We don't know, right? To each their own. And love has never prevented anybody from breaking up, from doing somebody dirty or anything else like that. So the love, I guess that's just from a feeling standpoint. It makes you feel more comfortable giving the money and investing the money. But my question would be, this would be, I don't know why she didn't ask this. And maybe Dr. Umar is getting ready to get into it, but if you're willing to invest 16, let's just say $17,000 over 2 years in somebody, wouldn't it make sense for that person to commit to you and at least propose or maybe even get married? But then the question comes up, if he's making less than you. And so that was the context. I think, I'm not sure that we went back far enough, or maybe let me give the full context. So this is a person, this lady was complaining about a lot of men or a lot of women that she talks to, complaining about the men not making the same amount of money as her. So Dr. Umar said, well, are you willing to invest in that man? If you're making more than him, maybe he has a financial vision of a business or entrepreneurial venture that he believes will turn a profit. And are you willing to invest in it? So my thing would be is, I guess she wouldn't even marry him because he makes so much less than her now. But what I would say is, okay, if you're willing to marry, if you're willing to make this investment, are you also willing to marry me before I reach a certain level of making a certain amount of money that's on the level that you're looking for? First and foremost, that's what I would say. But I guess she would have to answer whether or not she's willing to marry him. Let's keep going.
Myself
Will,
with
but
this
you didn't
man.
answer the question. Let's say
Yeah.
all those things are there. Will you financially invest in him? Be honest, my queen. They already answered for you. They said hell to the nizzo.
Yeah. Look.
Why not, though? Why do you have a problem with that? Given the atmosphere of racism and economic oppression that black men suffer in Australia, why would you have a
But what
problem
are black
investing
men
in your
subject
king?
to that women are not? We're
Say that
going through
again.
the same thing.
True, but it operates.
No, not true. Men and women are not going through the same thing. Black men and black women are not going through the same thing. I don't care how many people try to jump out here, how many women say black women are the least protected, all this other stuff. I don't care. It's very clear. All you have to do is look at the crime bill. All you have to do is look at a nature show when a male lion is taking over another pride. They're not treating the female cubs or the female that are in the pride the same way that they treat the males. They're killing the male cubs and they're killing any males that are part of that pride. We know that how to attack a family is the same. It's like the answer to our problem is what they've targeted in our families. What do I mean by that? Across the board, what is the answer to a lot of our problems? Having a strong black father in the household, right? So that's obviously what they've targeted in order to push whatever type of supremacy that they've tried in the past now, or continue to try, I guess, depending on how you look at it. So it's different. Now, Dr. Umar said it's the same. I believe as we move on, he then acknowledges that it is different, but let's keep going.
Operates differently. The racism against black men is significantly more aggressive than the racism against black women. Now, I don't want to get into an oppression Olympics because I agree with you. We all suffer and we suffer together. But a man's primary responsibility is to be a provider. And we don't feel adequate as men when we can't provide. So your king, who you love, who you've been dating for 2 or 3 years, is saying, baby, invest in me for these 18 to 24 months. And I promise you, I will cross that finish line. You're still reluctant.
I'm reluctant.
Why?
I'm reluctant. As my husband, if we were married and something like that happened, of course, I would be open to doing that.
But would you be open to even marrying him if he was not the provider you needed him to be? He's saying, help me level up so I can become the person you want to marry. He's asking you to help him level up.
So that's the question that first came up to me. That's the question, that would you be willing to marry them? She said that, oh, it would be different for my husband. Okay, cool. Let's get married. You cool marrying somebody that's making half of what you're making, a third of what you're making, whatever that is, less than what your standard would be? So if you're not willing to do it, and let me be very clear, hold on. Let me be very clear, because I don't want anybody listening to this to make it seem like I'm sounding like I'm 100% on board with Dr. Umar. I don't think that it's any guy. I don't think any guy should be relying on a woman investing in his business. I wouldn't be comfortable with that. I'll be totally honest. Even if the business is a success, that is something that, in my opinion, is going to be held over your head for a very, very, very long time. That's just how I see it. I would rather, and maybe this is the pride and the ego. Maybe it is talking, and maybe if I thought about it a little bit more, I would reevaluate it and maybe make a different decision. I'd rather go to the bank. I'd rather take out a credit card and pay interest. I'm not borrowing money from a girl that I'm dating, a woman that I'm dating. I'm not borrowing money from her to start a business. That's just me. That's your boss. What does Dame Dash always say? The one who puts the bread up, that's your boss. I'm not having my girl as my boss for 2 years and then that hanging over my head for however long it takes me to pay her back. And then even after that, her saying, look, I'm not rocking with it. Just me. I'd rather, look, I'm going to figure out something else. So that's just me.
I think.
Let me tell you why you're reluctant. And I don't have a problem with your reluctance, but I want to explain something.
Okay.
And I want all my young sisters to hear me. A big difference between the snow bunny.
And Maya wrote, there should be love. There should be love for, especially after 2 years of dating. Yeah, there should be love. I mean, it doesn't take long to fall in love. There's people that fall in love with love is the easy part. Falling in love is the easy part, in my opinion. It's all the other stuff that comes along with it when the lust and that initial magic is not there. That's the hard part. The love is easy. They throwing around love as if that means something, as if that's a real commitment. Like what exactly is that? That's just an extreme level of like love is shown in actions over a period of time, in my opinion. So yeah, that's just me. But
in the African queen is the snow bunny will find a black man.
Hold on. We got to.
Okay.
And I want all my young sisters to hear me. A big difference between the snow bunny and the African queen is the snow bunny will find a black man in progress. She will find him on the job. She will find him on the university. And that snow bunny will see a black man with potential and she will invest in him. She will help him level up. And then when the sisters see him 5 years ago, 5 years later, he's a millionaire. And the sisters say, look at that sellout. He went and got a white girl. But guess what? When he was looking for a sister to help him level up, to invest in him, none of them wanted it. You know why? Too many black women want a finished product. Black women have to stay with me.
Hold on. We're going to stay with you. He's right. And I don't think I really don't think it's an issue. Just my opinion. I think he's right. I think that just overall, when it comes to the culture, black culture, black women are always going to want the guy that's bringing in the money, are always going to want the guy that is the flashiest. Like, this is just how it goes, in my opinion. It doesn't matter how he's getting that money. It doesn't matter. Black women, based on black culture, are going to be attracted to a guy, in my opinion, that let me rephrase that. Black women are not going to be attracted to the guy that's, hey, I'm just working, a regular job, and I have this idea that I want to invest in, but I'm not making good money right now. But I don't want to pursue something that makes more money because I'm actually spending my time that I have, when I'm not working, to invest in something for me. Black women are not with that overall. Now, you, of course, I'm not talking for all the ladies watching here. Of course, y'all are the exceptions, right? We get it. Okay. You're the exception. So once we get that out the window, let's talk about everybody else, all the other black women. It's a difference. I think it's just a cultural difference. I do not think it's a love difference. I was going to say, I don't think it's an appreciation difference. I think it's an appreciation, but it's an appreciation based on being in different cultures. The average guy is not appreciated in the black culture. Let's just be real. The average guy in high school is not appreciated in the black culture. The average guy in middle school is not appreciated in the black culture. The average guy in college, the average guy on the job. When it comes to black culture, the guy is the guy across the board. Nobody's looking at it like, well, this guy has potential. He's working hard. He's focusing on his studies. Eventually, he's going to be something successful. I have no problem being with him right now and us working together, me helping him get to that point. That's not the case with black women. Let's just be real. And if Dr. Umar saying it, who typically panders to a lot of black women, just being honest from my perspective, then maybe it's something that we should consider. So Uncle Brother, shout out to Uncle Brother in the building. Whatever happened to behind every successful man is a good woman. The same thing that happened to Happy Wife, Happy Life. It was some BS that people lied to us about, and we got completely bamboozled, and I don't subscribe to it. That's exactly what happened to it. Behind every successful man is a good woman. When I think of like, and everything's taken in context, right? Everything's taken in context. Should I go to talk about Adam and Eve? Eve done ruined and messed. Let's not go that direction. Let's not go that direction. I don't know the reason for that. I don't know. And based on what Dr. Umar said, if you do believe that black men have to reach a certain level of success to be wanted by the majority of black women, then in my opinion, that just means that the guy climbs to success on his own. And then once he becomes successful, now he's able to, I was going to say have his pick of the litter, but I don't want anybody getting offended. Now he's able to have options. Now he's able to have options. I mean, let's just be real. Women are very upfront about the things that they say that they want in a man. Just like earlier in this conversation, she was saying that she wants somebody making around the same money as her. Totally fine. People want what they want. People want what they want. But if you're an entrepreneur and if you're hustling for something bigger, then chances are you have to maybe not be able to spend as much money as everybody else, maybe not make as much money as everybody else, maybe be on your grind for a bit and then pop afterwards. That just may be the case. But I do not subscribe to behind every successful man is a good woman. Like behind some successful men are good women. Yeah, but that's saying that's the whole happy wife, happy life, in my opinion. Based on my observations and experiences, I don't know, but maybe it's different. I'm not married. So please, if you have a different experience, then please share it with me. But that's just not how I've seen things. But to each their own, to each their own. Let's keep going. And that doesn't, just keep going. I ain't got it.
Black women have to stop expecting men to be a finished product. It's harder on us. Help him level up. Stay with me. Help him level up and become what you need him to be. Because the big reason why these snow bunnies are running off with black men is they're meeting them when they have nothing, but they believe in their vision. And
hold up. I just thought about something. Not only, I didn't even think about this when I was first going over this. I didn't go over it in detail, but I'll tell you another thing. Dr. Umar, now that I'm thinking about some people that I may know and stuff like that, not only I hate to say it, but just being honest, actually, I don't hate to say it because it's the truth. Black women, y'all need to help your man with his business. Maybe y'all should be doing more because, he's right. He is absolutely right. There is a certain level of entitlement when it comes to black women that other groups of women don't have. I don't know if it's built up resentment between black women and black men. I don't know if it's just because a lot of black women and black men are not raised in households with a husband and wife, so we don't really know how to help, how to be a helpmate. Is it help me, how to be these things? I don't know what it is. But if we're just being real, white women that I've seen will jump out the window in supporting their man's business, doing whatever it needs, whether they got a full-time job on their own, and as soon as they get off work, supporting that man's vision and not holding it over their head. We know how this goes. Let's just be real. Could you imagine taking $700 a month from a black woman who's investing in you and your business? You're doing all the chores. You're doing everything. I dare you to ask her to make you a sandwich, her to make dinner. I dare you to complain about anything. No matter what you complain about, that $700 is going to be brought up. You're going to be working for that $700, not only on your entrepreneurial venture, but for her as well. It just is what it is. Please, somebody tell me if I'm lying. So, all right. So Uncle Brother wrote, I always thought it to mean that a man has a greater likelihood of success with the right woman supporting him morally, spiritually, financially, if need be. In what you just wrote is 100% right. But let's just be real. When we hear that said in the context of the culture that we live in right now, to me, I do not think that's the case. I do not think that's the case. I'm just being honest. I don't think that when we hear behind every man, successful man is a good woman, I don't necessarily think that that's the case. I think that that may have been something that was more part of the culture earlier on. But I can't say that. Now, I'm not saying that in my personal experience that hasn't been the case, or me watching my parents that hasn't been the case. I'm just saying overall, I do not see that. I do not see that. And when it's said, it's almost like, you know what it is? It's the same thing where it's like, when I said that black women have a certain level of entitlement when it comes to relationships, where they feel like all they have to do is be in the relationship, and that's what they're bringing to the table. I really think that that's the case, and maybe that's the case because of us saying stuff like that saying. So I don't know. I don't know. So Mamole wrote, it's unfair to sum up all black women, Dak. Have you taken a toll? I know tons of supportive black women. I can personally give you a list. Oh my God. All right. So this is the thing. And stick with me on this. People, when I'm talking about a certain group of people, I realize that individuals get offended by me categorizing people. If I said that Americans are unhealthy, if I said that Americans are obese, would I be false or would that be true? Now, I'm not unhealthy, I don't think. I'm not obese, but America overall is unhealthy. So it's so funny, because if I said that black women are queens, nobody would sit here and say, well, all black women aren't queens. But when I say something negative, putting black women in the category, people get offended. I'm talking about overall. We can't speak if we could only address people as individuals, we would never get anywhere. If a teacher had to address every single student, well, this is how I'm going to teach you. This is how I'm going to teach you. This is how I'm going to teach you. No, of course we make generalizations, but I don't get offended by generalizations made again about black men if I don't fit into that category. If somebody made a statement that black men ain't shit, you hear it all the time, right? You hear a lot of black men ain't shit. Black men are lazy. Black people. What do a lot of black people that do not live in America say about black Americans? We're lazy. We don't take advantage of opportunities. All these different things. I don't take any offense to that because I know that that's not me. So I don't feel the need to sit here and say, well, that's not all black men. I know that you're not even talking to me. So I don't even take offense to it. You see what I'm saying? Of course, it's a broad statement. Everything that we do on this show is a broad statement. When I got to ask you, when I make broad statements about Democrats, when I make broad statements about people not being woke, you agree with me on those broad statements. So why does this broad statement trigger you somehow? That's what I would ask. Why does this broad statement bother you? Because I make broad generalizations all the time. If you watch any show, any YouTube show, that's what people are making, broad generalizations. If you talk about any topic, if we talk about marriage, I don't know every single person's marriage in America, but we're making generalizations because that's how we learn. If you are the exception, if it doesn't apply, then it doesn't apply. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So overall from where is all I'm trying to understand. I'm not sure what you mean. Have you taken a toll? Yes, I talked. Hold on. Let me be clear. I talk to a lot of black women, a lot of young black women, and I observe a lot of black women. Both. I have conversations with Maya and a whole bunch of her friends. We actually speak about their relationships. I've had sit downs with them going over like, yo, they're asking me questions about from my perspective, different situations that they're going through. Of course, I'm in it. I'm in it. I feel like we waste so much time when instead of just acknowledging a shortcoming of a shortcoming, and it's like here you have it's like if a woman said something about black men that I did not agree with, I would internalize it. I would look at myself. I would look in the mirror and say, damn, does this apply to me? Okay, if it doesn't, all right, it doesn't. But maybe it does. Maybe this is an area that I can do better in. Maybe this is an area that I can work on. So I don't know. I don't know. But now I guess so basically you're saying that it's unfair to make any generalizations. So is that any generalizations, or is that just specifically when it comes to black women? That would be my question. Uncle Brother wrote, come on with it, Leslie. Teamwork makes the dream work. Not sure what that means, but we're going to keep moving on. All I'm asking is, where are you getting your information from? From my real world experience. From speaking to people, from watching shows. Let me ask you, where would you get your real world experience? From your marriage, right? Or from your relationships, from your experience in life. That's what all of us get our real world experience from. From me observing that we were married so much in the 40s, black women were married at a higher rate than white women compared to what we see right now. Where am I getting all my information from? If you turn on BET, if you turn on any music video that highlights the black community, if you turn on a Cardi B video, if you turn on name a popular artist, why did Kamala Harris bring out Meg Thee Stallion? All these different things. Listen to the things in the music. Confucius said, right? Confucius said that you can tell a lot about a society based on the music of that particular society. If you listen to black music, what are the things that you hear? What are the things you hear Cardi B say? What are the things that you hear the City Girls say? What are the things that you hear Meg Thee Stallion say? What are the things you used to hear Trina saying? They not dating no broke nigga. All these different things. Why are we acting like these things don't exist? What are the things that Dr. Umar said? Like, what? I don't know. All right. So Maya wrote, from a general standpoint, white women and men are probably in a better position financially and therefore may have a better mindset when approached to invest. I agree. I agree. I 100% agree. But I also would agree with the fact that, so are we going to sit here and act as if, because this is my real question. Are we going to sit here and act like in high school, all black women don't want the same, all the black girls don't want the same, probably 5 guys? Are we going to sit here and act like most black women, it's not the culture to all go after the guy that's the best athlete, that gets all the other, like, are we really going to act like this doesn't happen? Why are we acting like 10 years after high school it's any different, or 10 years after that? And matter of fact, how about this? And come on, Leslie, you never generalize on anything. Is that real? Is that you never make generalizations? So, all right, so we can't make generalizations. So I can never say the Democrats are this. I've had conversations with you where I'm talking about Democrats and how black people who support the Democratic Party think. That's a generalization. Come on now, come on. We're not being real. We're not being real. Maya wrote, black men and women are probably starting from the same place. I'm agreeing with Maya, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just basing the conversation on Dr. Umar. Have y'all spoken to black men? Isn't that a complaint that a lot of black women have, that black men are dating outside the race? Have y'all ever asked them why? It's like, am I the only one? And maybe this is going to come up later on in the discussion. Maybe the problem is that the black men in y'all lives are not keeping it real with y'all. Why? It's like, if there's a real complaint about black, hold on, and what did Maya just write? White girls also wanted the same guys. Okay. So then if that's the case, okay. So if you're saying that white girls all wanted the same guys, so you're acknowledging that black women all wanted the same guys, right? So what I'm saying, and what Dr. Umar's saying, and based on what a lot of complaints that women have, are we going to sit here and act as if black women don't complain about black men becoming successful and then dating white women? Are we really going to sit here when I go to a reunion, when I go to a funeral and I look at all my cousins, there are more of my male black cousins dating white women than there are black women. Are we really going to act like this isn't a thing? So if that's the case and you ask them why would you not listen to the things that they're saying? I've asked them why. Have you guys asked them why? Matter of fact, I've spoken to, I believe that, Maya, let's be honest, I believe somebody in your family, I believe has made it very clear, and I shouldn't, y'all told me not to generalize, right? And when I get specific, don't be specific, don't generalize. All right, cool. Talk to the black men in your family and ask them the difference between dating a white woman and dating a black woman. Like, I don't understand. The fact that I'm saying this and it's so surprising is mind-boggling to me. It's mind-boggling to me. Mama Lay wrote, I feel the same way about TV show ratings because no one ever asked me, so I just wonder where are they getting their information. 100. I thought that was a well-known thing, especially a well-known complaint amongst black women, that black men are leaving them for black or for white women. I thought that was a thing. Maybe it's not as much of a thing. Let's let Dr. Umar finish up, and then we'll move on to the next video.
Black women are waiting for him to cross the finish line, and by the time he crosses the finish line, the snow bunny done snatched him already.
I disagree, and I think that I'm basing it on case studies. I know black women. I'm friends with black women. You know, when I see the dating issues that happen. Sorry, the mic.
No, we good. Go ahead. We good.
It's never that. It's never that they don't want to invest. It's actually the opposite. Black women are willing to be in relationships with men that are still leveling up, that are still working their way up. And then
yet you were reluctant. So why are they different from you?
And let me be clear. I don't agree with this. Let me say once again, this aspect of it, I do not think I would not take any investment from a woman. I would not. So I would never bank on, I just wouldn't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking an investment from a woman, especially if I haven't even married her. If a woman's not comfortable marrying me because I'm not making enough money, do you think I'm going to take an investment for, like, I just wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. That's just me.
Well, maybe because I've been through.
And maybe mine is too much ego, too much pride. I'm perfectly okay with acknowledging that. Perfectly okay.
That, and now I'm not trying to do that right now. Do you know what I mean? I've been through a relationship where I have supported someone and it went really badly for me. You know what I mean? So for me now, I don't need to coddle a man and be there. And I've worked my way up the same way.
Investing in a man is not coddling.
I don't think you need to invest. I don't think it's necessary in that way. Why is it only? But why is it?
Oh, let me ask a question. This is for Leslie, Uncle Brother, and Maya. What is the problem between black men and black women? What is the problem? I'm just wondering. Is there no problem? I'm just trying to figure out. That's my question for y'all. What is the problem? If what I'm saying is not a problem, or if we don't see eye to eye on that, I'm just asking from y'all perspective, do we not even have a problem when it comes to black men and black women? Do we not have built up resentment that impacts all of these different things that I'm discussing? I'm just wondering. And to the point that I'm making, to the point that he's making as far as with white women, let me go off a little bit more. I think that there has been a built up resentment between black men and black women ever since the plantation. I think that as a man, you are supposed to protect and provide. And it doesn't matter the situation. It doesn't matter whether or not you believe slavery was a choice. But if you are enslaved and you're sitting there with your husband and your family, let's say you got there's you and your husband and you have two kids. One's a boy, one's a girl. And the master, the slave master comes in and rapes your wife as a man. Are you trying to tell me that that wife is not going to have any resentment for that man, whether or not that man has a choice or not? It's one of those situations where you can't win. It's like, damn, you're just going to let him rape me? Grape me? Can't say that, I think. You're just going to let him grape me? Or it's like, well, if I fight back, then I'm going to die. Well, You know what she's thinking in her head? You're not willing to die to protect me? Then the master decides to take his go at the daughter. You're just gonna let this guy grape our daughter? That's built up resentment. I don't care what anybody says, whether you want to say, well, they had no choice. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's going to be a certain amount of built up resentment. And let me be very clear. This is just my opinion. That built up resentment has continued and continued. And when you match that built up resentment, where let's just be totally honest, right? What do a lot of single mothers, when they're raising their daughters, what are a lot of those daughters growing up hearing? Yo, daddy ain't, these ain't, you better just make sure that you could take care of your own because you can't rely on these no good dudes. Are we acting like those conversations don't happen? So when you couple that with the terrible culture that we live in, what do we think's going to happen? So then the white woman that does not have that built up resentment, of course she's going to come into it and be more favorable, more open, more understanding to the black man situation. And then if you add in what Maya's said, where there may not be as much, they may be in a better financial position, then that's another reason why what I'm saying is true. Why that white woman would appreciate that black man in a different light. Why that white woman may be willing to do something different, do more, go above and beyond. The black woman may be sitting there saying like, bro, we both just worked a 9 to 5. You think I'm finna make dinner? You make dinner for me. Let's be honest here. Let me see the comments, because maybe I'm tripping. Mine said, I'm not surprised, but maybe it's generational. I've never been acquainted with Dr. Umar, and since I've met him here, I don't like him at all. I'm not the biggest. I used to be a much bigger Dr. Umar fan. I find myself not agreeing with him more and more. I don't agree with what he's saying right here. As far as a black woman should be willing to invest money in a black man, I don't agree with that. However, what he's saying regarding white women, I believe that that's true. Look, we are in an effed up situation. In an effed up situation, when you maybe work at a great corporation, you work at a great job and things run smoothly, everything, you can just do your job, play your role, and everything goes according to plan. When you are in an effed up situation, you have to wear a whole bunch of hats. You have to do a lot more than maybe a teacher, let's say, at a school where the school's running properly. You have to do a lot more. You may have to even help support some of these kids financially. You're going to have to be their mommy, their daddy, their mentor, their big brother. You may have to wear a lot more hats because it's an effed up situation. Are we not in an effed up situation? That would be my question. Communication. So communication, you're saying, is the number one problem. I don't think that. I think communication. I think it comes across as communication. I think communication is definitely an issue, but I do not think that the communication is any more of an issue. I think. Well, let me. I think it's deeper than just the communication. I'm asking, why is the communication an issue? And to me, it's all of these other things that I just mentioned that make communicating an issue. I don't think that just, well, I think it's because, and communication may be where it shows up. Why don't we know how to communicate? Oh, because we grow up most in homes that we don't see husband and wife communicating. So obviously we won't know how to communicate. Why? How else do we know how to communicate? How do you learn how to communicate with a woman? Fellas, how do you learn how to communicate with a woman? You watch music videos. You watch movies. You watch Denzel. You watch people that you look up to. There's no class on learning how to communicate. There's a class on how to put a condom on a banana, but there's no class on learning how to communicate. So I agree that communication is definitely up there. But to me, I think that if we didn't have the previous trauma and resentment that we have in our relationships, I think that communication would be on a similar level. And this is to your point. I'm agreeing with you. I think that communication would be similar to other races, but because of all these other problems, because of lack of respect, because of resentment, because of all these other things, the communication becomes more volatile. When you resent somebody, think about when you resent somebody, what the communication is like compared to just how you communicate normally. Okay, so Mama Lay wrote, I can cite right now that I just read yesterday how the black guy who committed suicide last year, Twitch is a very interesting example of a white wife. She's dogging him. I can't really, I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I'm sure you can find, there's plenty. I would say that what he's talking about, in my opinion, is I think that what you're referring to is more of like a gold digger. I'm not, I don't know anything about this situation. So yeah, that may be the case. There's obviously going to be a lot of women, black women and white women, that are gold diggers. Now, if you have a gold digger, that's kind of a different example than what Dr. Umar is talking about. He's talking about somebody that's been with somebody from the beginning, before they were successful, before they had any gold to dig. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's a difference or not. Uh, he comes off extremely opinionated. How do you communicate effectively with someone like that? I agree. And one of the videos that I'm getting ready to show y'all, matter of fact, let me show you the video. I wanted to show this. I actually put up a video earlier. I'm not sure if you guys see the videos that I put up on YouTube. Let me show y'all this video that I put up on our YouTube channel. So this is a problem that somebody brought to the table, and this is why I have to get married. I was watching this video, and hold on, let me. And the title of the video is Dr. Umar Johnson a problem to the black community? So hold on, let me play this video. I agree he comes off extremely opinionated. I agree with you. I agree with you on that. However, that doesn't mean that he's wrong on every single point. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all I totally disagree. I would never. If my daughter told me that she was investing $700 a month into it in a dude and his vision and his business, I can only imagine. I don't have a child, but I would be very upset. I would think so. Oh, Maya was telling me a little bit about this, but I'm not too familiar with it. So maybe this is what I'll do. I'll get familiar with it, and then we'll definitely discuss it on Friday. The world has set it up that men can't cry, etc. Not necessarily race, but it makes it hard on men. How do I feel about that? Do I think that the world has been set up where men can't cry? I never grew up thinking that. I never grew up thinking that men can't go to therapy, but I do understand how there's been a stigma around when it comes to black men receiving therapy. I personally, let's not talk about the therapy as much, but let me just focus on the what you wrote, because I don't want to go off on a tangent unless y'all want me to. But the world is set up that men can't cry. I I'm gonna say that I disagree. I disagree. Like, that goes to talk about toxic masculinity. In my opinion, we have the softest group of men that we've ever had in maybe American history. We have the softest group of men right now living in society than we've ever had. Men can cry, men can forget crying. It goes above and beyond crying. Like, men feel that they don't have to have a purpose. They feel that they don't have to protect. They feel that they don't have to provide. Like, the things that men like, to me, men are perfectly fine being women. Men are perfectly fine letting the woman lead. And it's very hard for me to I know that I've grown up where people talk about toxic masculinity, toxic this, and maybe because people talked about toxic masculinity so much, maybe this is why my vision is on it. But in my opinion, we don't have a problem with toxic masculinity referring to men being overly masculine. To me, when I see the majority of men in our society, the toxic masculinity is men being, can't say the P word, men being very soft, men being coddled, men being purposeless, men too in tune with their feelings more than just getting something done and winning, men complaining, men accepting being victims, men fighting for handouts, men, I can't compete unless it's a level playing field. To me, that's the world that I see. Maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm wrong. But I see black men crying on. Didn't we just have a conversation about this? I see black men crying all the time on TV. Nobody has an issue with it. I'm going to say something about it, but I don't feel that I'm in the majority. I think that this is the softest group of men that we've ever had in American society. The softest group of men. And in my opinion, that is where the cycle, that we've gotten so soft that that's one of the reasons why all this woke stuff has died. Because all this soft stuff, we've realized that it does not work. It's not conducive to us being successful. It's us complaining, us being victims, and us caring too much about what people think, caring too much about, oh, this is unfair, so therefore I can't compete. Shut up and compete. Go win. Figure it out. But please tell me, maybe I'm wrong, but what is the saying? Hard times create strong men create easy times create weak men, and weak men create tough times. To me, we are in that cycle where we've had the easiest times between our parents' generation and us. Maybe just us, if you want to say it. And however you see it fit, we are living in that time where it's the easiest time, and we've created the softest group of men. Maybe I'm wrong, but based on a lot of the complaints that we talk about on this show regarding men, based on a lot of the complaints that a lot of women have about men, based on a lot of the complaints that this lady that's interviewing Dr. Umar is saying, apparently we have a problem with men being soft and men not living up to their responsibility. It doesn't matter if just like Dr. Umar said, I agree with him when he says that racism or whatever, white supremacy, whatever you want to call it, is tougher and designed to target black men. I just don't care. It is what it is. It doesn't matter. The fact that it's like sports. If the game plan is to take this person out the game, then they must be a very capable player with a lot of potential. So I take pride in the fact that, do you know how embarrassing it would be if whoever the powers that be, the man, whoever we want to call it, if they said, we got to target black women. Black women, we got to get them locked up and get them out the household, because with the men raising the kids, those men, they're going to raise some soft kids that aren't able to be successful. No, it's the opposite. Let's get these black men out the household, because the men are the people that bring the discipline, bring the leadership, bring the responsibility, the accountability to the table. That's what they bring. And that's what's most important, especially for a young boy who's growing in those teen adolescent years and becoming a man, to be successful. So therefore, he doesn't have to be a man who Dr. Umar's describing, who's making half or a third of what that woman's making and asking her to invest $700 a month in his business. I'd rather go work at McDonald's and stay up all night than ask my girl that's what I would recommend. Go get another job. Go hustle. Go do what the men that come to this country that stand outside of Home Depot. You can ask Maya. Ask Maya, how much do I respect those men that stand outside of Home Depot? I told her when we were getting the Christmas tree from Home Depot, I said, yo, one day I'm going to go out there and stand out there and see what it's like, what those men have to do. They get up early every day and report there like it's their job, may not have paperwork, but they're there to put food on the table. And we complain about it being so hard. Come on, man. Come on. Sorry, I'm late. Shout out to Big Bro Doug in the building. She's not a gold digger. She's accomplished, and so was he. I used to admire them as a couple. I definitely want. just because you're accomplished doesn't mean you're a gold digger. Most women that are accomplished want a guy that's at least on their level, or let me say that they'll accept a guy that's on their level, but they want somebody above and beyond. It's not like women become successful and they're like, oh yeah, because I make $300,000 a year, I'll date a guy that makes $50,000. No, if they make $300,000 a year, they think that they should be dating a man that makes 500 plus. Let's be real. You know who I'm referring to, Maya. You're a communicator, Dak. I believe that I am a communicator. I do believe that I'm a communicator. I appreciate that. Okay, I see your point, but are the ones that have been crying straight? Yeah. Well, what's making them not straight? That's what I would ask. But the men that I see crying, no, absolutely they are straight. When I see Ryan Clark on ESPN shedding tears over something, when I see Randy Moss crying because somebody made a racist comment, what they do is the same thing that they used to do with the big Negro bucks that were slaves. They're going to take the strongest black man, the strongest, biggest, and toughest. They're going to emasculate him, and so that way they can control the other niggas. That's exactly what goes on right now. Bring me the toughest nigga you got. Put him on TV, and we're going to make him soft. We're going to make him cry. That's the game plan. Because once we do that and we make it okay for that big buck to cry, then everybody else will follow suit. This is how it goes. Maya said, I want to shadow them. For real, I have a tremendous respect for any man that does not have a job, that does not have somewhere where they get a consistent paycheck, but they go to Home Depot and beg for work and negotiate how much they're making every day. I have a tremendous respect for that. A tremendous respect for that. So when I hear people like Dr. Umar talking about getting $700 a month from your lady, like, what, bro? I don't know. Maybe this is why all the people in all these other cultures coming from Nigeria, Ghana, Jamaica, all these other cultures talk ish about black men and about black people in America being so damn lazy and not taking advantage of the opportunities that we have. Maybe this is the reason why. Unmotivated people. Yes, Leslie, the story is crazy, and the family is speaking out. I'm definitely gonna. We'll talk about that on Friday. That'll be good. Hot Topic Friday. All right. So let me actually. All right. So let me move on. Let me show y'all that video that I was talking about and the reason why I have to get married. Let me show y'all this. Here we go. All right. So this lady put this up about Dr. Umar.
Is dangerous. And he is dangerous because Umar Johnson is dangerous. And he is dangerous because far too often there's too big of a difference between what he says and what he does. Now, I believe the black community is currently undergoing a serious crisis of leadership, evidenced by my various videos on everyone from Candace Owens to Tariq Nasheed to Al Sharpton. But very few I have found to be as fundamentally problematic as Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson, someone who dons himself as the Pan-African Prince, is a bastion of contradictions to the values and morals of Africa. I have found Umar Johnson to exhibit various levels of dysfunction, but the most glaring and profound examples of which are found in his words and deeds as it pertains to the black family. And because I believe that you should walk it like you talk it, or lead by example, I do not find Umar Johnson to be a good messenger for this message, because Umar Johnson is dangerous.
Right, so,
and he is dangerous.
To your point, this is why I brought up Dr. Umar the other day. You know, I have to give Dr. Umar credit because, like I said, he helped me start my conscious journey. So I give him credit when it comes to that. He helped me start my conscious journey just to understanding. When I say conscious journey, just understanding, just researching, just wanting to learn about black people's history in America, all these different things. I don't even agree with him on that, but he actually got me to research it. Dr. Umar, he's a Pan-African. He thinks that we should go back to Africa or develop relations. I don't think that we came from Africa. I don't think my people came from Africa. Some people came from Africa. I don't think my people did. It is what it is. All right, so let's move on. We got the meat of the conversation. Dang, that's an hour icebreaker. I had a bunch of stuff with Sunny hosting. All right, so let's get to Joy, and then if we finish the Joy stuff, then we'll go back to talk about Sunny hosting. All right, where are we starting with Joy? My fault. I'm all out of order now. Okay. All right. Let me give y'all some context for the people that are not familiar with Joy Taylor. So Joy Taylor, she works on Fox Sports. She started working there, I believe, about 10 years ago. She's 37. She got a job working with Skip and Shannon on Undisputed, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp on Undisputed, and she also got a job with Colin Cowherd. Joy Taylor is the little sister of Jason Taylor, who used to play defensive end for the Miami Dolphins, and I believe he was on the Jets as well. Or maybe I got those backwards, whatever. It is very hard to get on a sports program. Very hard to get on a sports show. Very hard. Typically, you don't even see athletes get on, like, if I tried to be a broadcaster, if I tried to get on one of these shows, they would tell me, like, bro, like, this is how long you played in the league. Like, nobody knows you. Nobody recognizes you. You're a nobody. You were an average to below average player. Like, you think that we're about to put you on ESPN or put you on Fox Sports? Well, Joy Taylor went to Barry University, right down here in Florida. Probably most of y'all never even heard about it. Went to Barry University, and somehow when she's 26, 27, 25, whatever, lands a show on Fox Sports. So she's working with these different programs, and she was engaged to a former basketball player, Earl Watson. He's a coach now. And she just got accused. Well, she's been named in a lawsuit that this lady I forget her name. I have the lawsuit pulled up. Doesn't matter the name. This lady that was a makeup artist, she accused Joy Taylor, Skip Bayless, a few people, and as well as Charlie Dixon, who I believe he's the executive producer of Fox Sports. She accused Joy of, or she kind of just put everybody's business out. That's what she pretty much put out. And she highlighted the fact that Joy Taylor moved up and got opportunities based on using her sexuality to get in positions. Once again, she was engaged. Apparently, allegedly, she was having sex with a co-host, and she was having sex with the executive producer. So when the lady who's the makeup artist came to her and said, hey, or had some things to say about her relationships, that they were talking about it, and saying that the executive producer of the show, this guy, Charlie Dixon, I believe is his name. My apologies if I got it wrong. Hold on. Let me just let y'all know. Hold on. Let me just confirm, just so I have it. What do I have it here? Whatever. Charlie Dixon, I think is his name. The makeup lady, and Charlie Dixon has a wife, and the makeup lady was saying that, hey, you better be careful, because even though you're having sex with your co-host, now this is all alleged, even though you're having sex with your co-host, the big man, he's not going to like that, whether he has a wife or not. You're his. You can't be, he's going to look at that as like sleeping with the help. Joy Taylor's response, allegedly, was, it doesn't matter. If he gets angry or upset, I will just me too him. And she didn't say me too, I don't believe. But she said that I will just accuse him of sexual assault on the job, and then I will hold that over his head, so I'll still have power over him. So a lot of things were crossing my mind when I was hearing this, especially considering that we just had a conversation over the New Year's holiday, big conversation with family about Diddy, and the fact that we should not wait until Diddy's proven guilty, that we should just assume that he's guilty. And me, I'm sitting here like, why would we assume that he's guilty? Why would you assume that anybody's guilty? Because now if we're just making those assumptions, now we're pretty much saying we're ignoring the law, ignoring the process, and we're just going to go with what public opinion, the court of public opinion. Now, a lot of people may not have had anybody close to them be accused of something that they did not do. So a lot of people don't care. They'll just sit here and say, it looks like he did it. It is what it is. But for some reason, that energy doesn't seem to be the same with Joy Taylor. So I said all that. I'm getting ready to play a whole bunch of videos that are going to discuss this exact thing. I'm going to read certain things from and just so you know, let me read this part from the lawsuit, and let me get your guys' thoughts. So hold on, let me get the lady's name. 1 second. I should have the name. My apologies for that. Hold on, let me just get this lady's name. Hold on. So yes, the guy's name was Charlie Dixon, and the lady's name is Nushin Faraji, Noushin Faraji. So that's the person that's bringing the lawsuit against Fox Sports. So let me read this passage in her lawsuit. Let me read this. Around August 2016, Miss Faraji attended a dinner with Miss Taylor and her husband. That's Joy Taylor's husband. I didn't know that. Wow. I said fiance. Wow. Joy Taylor's husband, and Mr. Dixon and his wife. So Mr. Dixon and his wife. During the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband became suspicious that Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were having a sexual relationship. Soon after the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband found evidence of the inappropriate relationship and divorced Miss Taylor. Okay, cool. So I'm just giving y'all a little bit more context. The issue that I have is, why, when it comes to women, why are we supposed to believe all women, protect all women, women can do no wrong? And even in the conversation that we were having about Diddy, and I'm sitting there saying, like, hold up. There's a whole lot of women that use their sexuality, that know exactly what Diddy's on, and they use sleeping with men to get their way to the top. Why is it never that men, especially men, you get these pandering men that act like women can do no wrong? Oh, it's just the man's fault. It's just the man's fault. And we don't even highlight. And where's the women? Matter of fact, I wrote it down. This is my question that I got for y'all. For the ladies, where are all the women who fight for women not getting opportunities, being sexually assaulted on the job, being taken advantage of, etc.? Shouldn't you be upset when a woman is doing the very things that you fight against? Shouldn't you be upset that a woman is trivializing your fight by working her way to the top, by doing the things you fight for women to not have to do? And speaking of the things that you fight for women to not have to do, I want to play this clip from y'all with Joy Taylor on the I Am Athlete show. I want to play this clip for y'all. Bear with me. I know I'm all over the place here, but just bear with me. Hold on. What's the time? 16 minutes. Check this out. Let me make it full screen.
While I was working on a daily show, I'm like, you mean the show I currently don't know how hard this is. Like, this is not even an option for you. Yeah, like, this is not even an option.
I want to run it back. I want to make sure y'all hear the full context.
Specific stories for the next 3 hours, but I think for me, I always knew exactly what I wanted to do. So you're gonna get told no a lot. Wow. Sometimes it's not even gonna be no. It's like, we're not even listening to this. Like, this is not even an option for you. Yeah, like, this is not even an option for you. You're not good enough. We don't do that. The opportunity's not there. You don't know how hard this is. I've been literally told I don't know how hard it is to do a daily show while I was working on a daily show. I'm like, you mean the show I currently work on? I don't know how hard it is to do that? The same meeting I'm in every day, the same wake up call, same time. How would I not know how hard it is to do the show I work on? You have to constantly reaffirm that you are good enough, that you belong there, and then always prove it. So I would just always say you gotta do twice the work to get half the opportunity.
You have to do twice the work. And matter of fact, I wish I would have left that Dr. Umar video on for another minute, because I lied to you not. In another minute of that Dr. Umar video, Dr. Umar said the exact same thing regarding black men, saying that we got to work twice as hard to get half the opportunities. I'm glad that I didn't, because that would have been a whole nother hour that we'd have been talking about that. Joy Taylor just said that women have to work twice as hard to get half the opportunities. When I look around at sports shows, whether it's First Take with Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp, whether it was the old Undisputed with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, whether it's Speak for Yourself, that was Jason Whitlock's show with Marcellus Wiley. All of these shows, if you turn on ESPN or if you turn on Fox Sports, you will see the majority of men that probably, like Skip Bayless, have been covering sports, I don't know, before I was born. Stephen A. Smith, been covering sports forever. You get either that type of person, somebody that's been in sports journalism for a very long time, or you get a former athlete that was very accomplished, like a Shannon Sharp, who's a Hall of Fame player, a top 3 tight end of all time in the NFL. You get a LaShawn McCoy, one of the best running backs while he was playing. You get a Brandon Jennings, one of the best wide receivers while he was playing. You get a Randy Moss. You get a Tom Brady, and that's just that's more commentating on games. Think about looking on these shows. But then you usually see a woman sitting there that's moderating the conversation. It could be about football, basketball, whatever it is. Did she play in the NFL? No. But she's talking about the NFL. She has a better likelihood of getting a job on that show than me. Joy Taylor has a better likelihood of getting a job on that show than me. And I actually played football in the NFL. But you can't say that, right? The guys can't say that, because then the women are going to be upset with us, and we rather pander to them and play this whole simp game. And we allow people, this is the same thing that we do with all this victim Olympics when it comes to black people. You got to work twice as hard to get, stop it. Stop it. You say that, so you tell little girls, now you set up younger girls to have that type of mindset, that I have to work twice as hard to get half the opportunities. And maybe because they think what you said is true, maybe they end up doing what you're being accused of doing, which is sleeping your way to get opportunities. Maybe that's why these girls that end up on Harvey Weinstein's couch doing all type of dumb stuff that they shouldn't even be doing, but then want to complain about it and put a lawsuit out or whatever else 20, 30 years later, or these women that are getting date raped by Bill Cosby, whatever the case may be, but then come out 20. Maybe the reason why they accept those things are because of women like Joy Taylor continuing to tell them and spew this BS that she's spewing, while she's just having sex in order to get an opportunities that professional players male professional players do not have unless you are a superstar. Who is Joy Taylor? Why does anybody care about Joy Taylor's opinion on sports? What do we know Joy Taylor regarding sports? What do we know her for? But no, she's going to sit out there. She's going to have her low-hanging shirt showing her breast. She's going to look beautiful, and people are going to be okay with it. People are going to allow her to say dumb shit like she just said and just sit back and accept it, while all these athletes who played at the highest level and performed at the highest level amongst the toughest competition are just going to sit back and not say anything. What is going on? Let's keep going a little bit.
But that, to me, the mentality I've always had on it is that just going to make me better. So that's why I'm excellent. Because I had to be. I couldn't be average. I couldn't be okay.
What did she have to be excellent at? What did she have to be excellent at?
Couldn't be late. I couldn't complain. I couldn't say no. Now I do. Right. But you have to do that because you can't give people the opportunity to doubt you. So that, I think, is what the sacrifice is. It's a lot of pride sacrifice. You got to eat a lot of shit. You got to listen to a lot of jokes. You got to ignore little comments. little microaggressions.
And that kind of leads into my next question. What do you feel like defines you, and where do you get your?
We're going to stop right there because we got about 5 or 6 videos on this. Let's just keep going. I'm just going to go through video after video to just paint the picture on a little bit about who Joy Taylor is. So we were just talking about relationships, right? We were just talking about relationships. I'm just finding some random videos, and I just want to learn more about who exactly Joy Taylor is. So let's take a look at this video that she did. She's doing this interview. Since we were on the subject of relationships, I think it's appropriate. Hold on. My fault. I'm sharing the wrong screen. All right, here we go.
Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want, fine, funny, fucking money. You're throwing all boundaries, standards, all that shit you talked on Instagram about how you would never, and this woman ain't because women this and men this, you're moving forward with this person.
I just want to show y'all a little bit about who Joy Taylor is. Just want to show y'all a little bit about who Joy Taylor is. So hold on, we're gonna move on to the next. And I see your comment, Maya. Maya wrote, their faces look like they know she's a hoe. Their faces look like they know she's a hoe, but I guarantee, and they'll probably talk about it to each other, but won't say anything. And maybe they shouldn't. And I'm not saying that they should say something to say what you're saying. They should say something like, hold up. Come on now. Is it really like that? Like, what about when it comes? Like, we all want to say, and you're probably wondering what I mean. We all like to say, well, as a black woman, it's this, and that. Okay. All right. So then why didn't all those brothers sitting in that room will say, even as a black man who's a professional athlete that's played at the highest level, it's hard for us. If you're not the superstar on your team, it's hard for you to get opportunities. All you got to do is walk in the room, do your interview, have your breast out, and let's be honest. You get guys like Charlie Dixon. I don't know if y'all are familiar with what Charlie Dixon looks like, but Charlie Dixon looks like he's never had a Joy Taylor before. And Joy just clearly just mentioned that standards go out the window when the guy's pockets are right. Or maybe I took that the wrong way. That's what I heard. So that's what ends up happening. But let me, so the co-host that she's accused of sleeping with, I want to play this video for y'all. And you tell me what you guys think about him putting up this video. All right, hold on. Here we go. Got it on the screen. So keep in mind, hold on. I'm going to tell y'all afterwards what I was going to tell y'all. So this is a video that Emmanuel Acho put out. And this was maybe 3 years ago when they were getting ready to do their show. Now, in the lawsuit, it says that, never mind. Let's just move on.
Just got done with rehearsal for the new show Speak, and I got to take a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor. A woman, a black woman, daily show.
I should have just let it play through. My apologies. I'm going to run it back. But why is everything a woman, a black woman? A woman, a black woman, as if those things are holding you back from being able to speak on the NFL.
Just got done with rehearsal for the new show Speak, and I got to take a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor. A woman, a black woman, daily show, sports. Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in? So often there's misogyny and sexism running rampant in sports, and we don't even care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position.
Hold on, my fault. I accidentally pressed the button. My bad. I didn't mean to do that.
Care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position on television as a woman, as a black woman, but as an opinionist. So not just asking men what they think, but providing her own unique and distinct insight. It's hard to do, and Joy, you have done it. So congratulations. Looking forward to working with you, and hope y'all tune in 4:30 to 6 Eastern every day starting next week.
So Fox Sports.
These are the pandering and simp men. The pandering and simp men. And why do I say pandering and simp men? You're probably like, well, what makes him pandering and what's why did he just take down that video yesterday? What's wrong? What did he say wrong? What did he say wrong in that video to make him take it down yesterday? I guess he doesn't still stand on it. What's wrong with what he said? Why would he feel the need to take that video down? What don't you stand on? Oh, maybe it just looks silly because every time he said woman, he had to say woman as a woman, and then he had to specify and say as a black woman. This is why, and I'm going to connect the dot that y'all probably aren't going to feel. It is what it is. This is one of the reasons why black women are so entitled. Because there's a group of black men out here. I don't know if it's the majority. Maybe it's just a lot of the men that I end up in conversations with. But a lot of men out here are scared to death to criticize a black woman. Scared to death to criticize a black woman. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I want to show y'all this next video. So here we're getting ready to show. Hold on. Let me make sure. All right. So this next video that it just played into. This is not the Breakfast Club. This is Hot 97's breakfast show, Ebro in the morning. Listen to what Ebro and Rosenberg have to say at the end of this video. So she's gonna, Laura, I forget her name. She's gonna detail what's going on, and then they're gonna give their comments on it. So it's a little bit of a longer video. Matter of fact, we're gonna skip past her part probably.
Host Joy Taylor, Emmanuel Acho, network executive Charlie Dixon, sports person.
Y'all see Charlie? Y'all see Charlie? That's who was allegedly, he was dipping dealing with Joy, allegedly. And then she was going to meet too this lovely looking guy. Man, he looks harmless.
Charlie Dixon, sports personality Skip Bayless, all of them are named in this lawsuit accusing them of sexual harassment, sexual battery, retaliation, hostile work environment, and more. Now, this is filed by former stylist Nushin Faraji. She filed this lawsuit in Los Angeles on Friday. So she's basically saying that Skip Bayless offered her $1.5 million in exchange for sex. The network executive, Charlie Dixon, allegedly groped her. But a large portion of social media is talking about Joy Taylor. She leveraged sex with Dixon and Emmanuel Acho to advance her career. Guys, this is all like super messy.
If this is true, why would Joy Taylor's sexual endeavors with people she worked with be a part of the hairstylist complaint? Is it because she's suing Joy or she's suing the network?
Well, she also included in it, I think she tried to say that when she went to Joy, Joy was like, get over it. But, I mean, you're right. The reason the internet is going for it, let's be real, is because the society we're very weird and men are very weird because Joy is a public, front-facing, and attractive woman.
They want to go, see, she didn't earn it. She sexed her way. That's whack, baby.
This is why black people ain't shit. This is why black people ain't shit. This is why we lose on a consistent basis. This is why we get outperformed on a consistent basis. Why do they need to jump out the window to protect this black woman? Bro, imagine if it happened to you, Ebro. Aren't you the head of something at Hot 97? Joy Taylor is not a victim. She's not a victim. And you heard Rosenberg, that's because men are weird. What? I'm being weird by calling out the fact that this girl Joy, yeah. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Please listen to this again, and we're gonna keep going.
She's suing Joy or she's suing the network?
Well, she also included in it, I think she tried to say that when she went to Joy, Joy was like, get over it. But I mean, you're right. The reason the internet is going for it, let's be real, is because as society, we're very weird and men are very weird because Joy is a public, front-facing, and attractive woman.
They want to go see, she didn't earn it. She sexed her way. That's whack, baby.
Even as they look at her every day on social media and ogle her, then they want to turn around and drag her down also. It's a weird relationship.
Can we just...
This dude Rosenberg is a clown. Ebro, I don't know what he's talking about. Ebro is a self-proclaimed feminist. That's around the time when I stopped watching the show years ago. I'm a feminist. Like, what? Like, okay. Like, people just say and do what's cool at the time. Like, why can't certain things just be wrong that are wrong? Why can't, if Diddy did what he's accused of, he's wrong? Why can't, if a woman is guilty of what she accused of, she's wrong? Why can't things just be wrong? Why does it always have to be a group of black men that are jumping out the window to protect black women? And you know how you really protect black women? Not by doing what you're doing and pandering on a syndicated radio or on your large YouTube platform. Because all you're doing is setting up certain things to happen for the next generation of black women. So these men are pandering to all y'all black women, acting as if they care, acting as if, oh, no, what Joy didn't do was wrong. People that allow you to get away with stuff do not care about you. They're doing what's they feel is in their best interest. They do not want to get involved. They're just saying what's the safe thing to say or what they think is the popular thing to say. Why would they not go on now? If she is guilty of what she's accused of, that's wrong. They don't have to call her a hoe. They don't have to call her any of these things. But why can't they even just say that, yeah, she's wrong? That's a problem. You work for a radio station. I'm sure these type of things come up. Now, if somebody complained to HR about you, and maybe, I don't know. Let's move on to the next video. Let's move on to the next one, because maybe I'm the oddball. Maybe I am the oddball. Let's go on to the next one. So I want y'all to play. I want y'all to see Cam Newton's response. This was, to me, probably the worst response that I've seen thus far. Cam Newton is embarrassing for this. Embarrassing. Let me hold on one second. Let me make sure that I get all right. Listen to this. Embarrassing.
She showed off. With this lawsuit, you have the Jason Whitlocks of the world. What did he say? I know what I'm capable of. That big rack of hers, she showed off constantly. And that peanut butter skin with that big rack. Like, Jay, keep your dick. Okay. Hey, Jason Whitlock. Hey, my guy. No, you're not my guy.
Let me be very clear. So he decided to play a clip of what Jason Whitlock said. What Jason Whitlock was saying was that not that Joy Taylor liked him, not that he had a shot with her. Joy Taylor used to work on the show with Jason, or was getting ready to work on the show with Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock, I think she was on the show with him and Marcellus. Or they were either going to work together or she was on the show. I'm not sure. But what Jason Whitlock was saying is that he knows himself. So him being around, he said that he kept his distance from Joy Taylor. He was saying like, yo, I don't know what's true, what's not. I actually kept my distance from Joy Taylor because I know how I am. I'm going to get distracted by a woman who's coming in, a beautiful woman who's got big breasts and is showing them out, beautiful skin, all these different things, a nice body. That's all he was saying. He was not trying to insinuate by any means. I listened to his full show that Joy Taylor is interested in him sexually or even showed any type of interest in any way. Listen to what Cam Newton tries to do.
Peanut butter skin with that big rack. Like, Jay, keep your dick.
Okay. Hey, Jason Whitlock. Hey, my guy. No, you're not my guy. Guy, come here. You're not that guy, pal. You're not. That big rack of hers, that's inappropriate. That butter skin, that's inappropriate. Like, bro, you're not that guy. So to comment on something like this, bro, stay in your lane.
Am I missing something? It's inappropriate to say that she has a big rack. And hold on. And if you think that's inappropriate, it's inappropriate to say that she has butter skin, and what he actually said was peanut butter skin. That's inappropriate?
Not. That big rack of hers, that's inappropriate. That butter skin, that's inappropriate. Like, bro, you're not that guy. So to comment on something like this, bro, stay in your lane. Whether Joy did what she did, the accusations are true or not, stay in your lane, Jason. All right? Because, bro, like, you're having an outer body experience, and it's time for me to put you back in your body to let you know, bro, you're not that guy, pal.
Yeah.
Joy, is she a very attractive woman? Absolutely. And it's not for me to make inappropriate statements, Jason. Like, all right, let's put it like this, since we want to get personal. Like, yo, who you fucking? Who you sleeping with?
What she look like?
Like, bring her to the forefront, him to the forefront, because now you gotta be open in these.
Yeah, he's gotta be. Huh?
You know what I'm saying? And it ain't no shade, but I'm just keeping it a bug. This is a person who's, bro, like been a villain in the industry for years. So I'm like, bro, we want to see her. Don't say no inappropriate things like that and not be questioned about that.
Like, bro, what? So now what Cam Newton is trying to do is so corny. It's so corny. It's so corny. You're trying to say, oh, Jason Whitlock, he's fat, so he should stay in his lane because he would never get a girl like her. Like this. So I guess Cam Newton is saying that Charlie Dixon, I guess he's handsome enough to get a girl like I have to just ask myself why. He's telling Jason Whitlock to stay in his lane. Meanwhile, he's commenting on it. But Jason Whitlock was actually on the network dealing with Joy Taylor. And I believe whether they were on the show or not, they were on the same network. But I believe they were on the same show. Why does he need to stay in his lane? You're trying to act like now it's so disrespectful to say she's got a big rack and peanut butter skin. This is how these pandering men, and I don't know why they feel the need to jump out the window when it comes to this type of situation, but this is what occurs, in my opinion, across the board in a lot of areas in our culture where Black men are so scary, they will not call out a Black woman for anything. And what ends up happening is when you only hold one group accountable and you don't hold the other group accountable, it creates resentment, and it's not conducive for having positive relationships with each other because you let this group get away with anything. They don't have to be held accountable to anything. Meanwhile, the fellas, they're forget innocent until proven guilty. They're guilty until we feel like they're innocent. That's just what it is. Hold on. Mama Lay wrote, I actually thought Joy was talking about this actress Jazzy, who said what she would never do till she met that athlete, Cam Newton, who threw all her alleged morals out the window. Oh, and then there Cam is. I'm not sure who Joy was talking to. I don't know who Joy was talking to, but I'm just going based off of what she said. Just giving a little insight on more of what type of person she is. Now, maybe that doesn't give y'all as much of insight on what type of person she is, but Joy, I'm gonna be totally honest. Maybe I'm a little biased because I'm not necessarily a fan of Joy. Like I've heard her comment, like I watched the show and I'm just like, then like, yo, who makes her qualified to even speak on these things? And then it's like she's a big time feminist and she's always using like these talking points to talk about how hard it is as a black woman and all this. Like, I don't want to like stop it. Stop it. You're on a show talking about sports and nobody even knows you. Like nobody even knows you from sports. And you're on a TV show getting paid a whole lot of money to talk about sports. Stop it. But we're not done. Let me show y'all this last video that I want to highlight with this particular topic. And this is Dave Portnoy. I believe it's Dave Portnoy. Hold on one second. Let me give y'all the full video or the full clip of what Jason Whitlock said, because I think it's important for us to actually see what Jason Whitlock said, because we just played Cam. So let me play exactly what Jason Whitlock said.
I know what I'm capable of. And that big rack of hers that she showed off constantly, it's just, and that peanut butter skin with that big rack, like, Jay, keep your distance. I know what I'm capable of.
What's wrong with what he said? I don't see it. Maybe I'm missing it. I don't know, but I don't see it at all. So hold on. I just want to play this last video. This is Dave Portnoy. We're already, it's right here.
Since when is Acho some heavyweight who gets people promoted? I honestly don't even know why Joy Taylor is in the lawsuit, because she was mean to her hair. Dave Portnoy, talking about Joy Taylor. Who effing cares if they had consensual relationship or not? And since when is Acho some heavyweight who gets people promoted? I honestly don't even know why Joy Taylor is in the lawsuit, because she was mean to her hairdresser, yet simultaneously spilled her guts to her. Makes zero sense. Dave Portnoy.
The only reason I want to point out is, why are all these men coming to the aid? Dave Portnoy, you run Barstool Sports. So you would think that he would be somewhat empathetic of what Joy Taylor's being alleged doing to one of the bosses of Fox Sports. But this is just the world that we live in. And maybe people will hear this conversation and what I'm having and just be like, yo, it's not that serious. It's not that deep. I'm telling y'all, I see this across the board in a lot of conversations. I see this across the board in a lot of conversations. I feel it. I feel this in a lot of situations that I'm in, where for whatever reason, we are just so scared. Like, it's like being on a team with somebody. You ever been on a team with somebody where they're allowed to get away with everything? You're held accountable. You have to run your sprints. You have to do your conditioning. You have to do your lifting. You have to make sure you focus on your assignment. You have to watch film. You have to make sure your grades are good in the classroom. But then this other person that you're relying on your team, they get away with everything. It makes the entire team dysfunctional. There's no way that we can operate and be the best that we can be, because this person just keeps allowing, we just excuse every little thing that they do. But then we feel comfortable as men jumping out the window saying, believe all women. What? Do we not see the situations? Didn't the situation just come out with the stripper that accused the Duke lacrosse players of graping them? And then what happened? She came out and said that she just made it up. Why are we not bothered by this? These type of things ruin people's lives. Just like a lot of women's lives are ruined by the things that they go through in the workforce. I'm just wondering, why is it so easy for a woman to have in her mindset as a strategy to climb her corporate ladder to do what Joy Taylor is being alleged of doing? So that's where I'm gonna leave it. That's where I'm gonna leave it. Maybe it's not a big deal. And maybe I'm bugging, maybe I'm triggered by something internally. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe maybe I'm overreacting. I don't know what it is. Maybe I am. But I have a huge issue with this, and I have a huge issue with men that constantly just like, bro, bro, I don't want to say anything inappropriate or offend anybody, but I just don't get it. I just really don't get it, because you think you're doing somebody a favor and you're really not. You're really handicapping them and handicapping their growth, and allowing a woman like Joy Taylor to get up here and talk about she has to work twice as hard to get half the opportunities. Meanwhile, what she's allegedly doing is this. So I guess everybody's okay with it. I guess everybody's okay with their daughters. If they have daughters doing it, I guess they're okay with the daughters doing it, or other women doing it to other men, maybe their sons. Like I really, and once again, I'm biased. 2 of my best friends were accused of something sexually that they did not do. And I saw how it impacted their lives then. And one of them, rest in peace, one passed away, and 2 out of 3 of them that were involved in the situation passed away. And the third one, it's like, you always will be remembered as that. You missed your senior football year because somebody made up some lies about you. You missed your senior football season. And we always talk about trajectory, right? How small things could make big impacts in our future. So what if he would have played his football season that he busted his ass for, that he was one of the hardest worker on the team for? Maybe he could have gotten into college and played sports. Maybe maybe his life would be totally different right now. But you know what? When it came out that this girl had just made up the entire story, you know what they did? They just edited the newspaper article. They edited the newspaper article. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm wrong. They didn't edit the newspaper article. You know the newspaper article that I'm actually thinking about? They were accused of bringing a girl and doing certain things in this park. And maybe 10 years later, there was a killing in the park. Nothing having to do with each other. And do you know, in that article, when they were writing a story about the park, they said this is the same park where such and such occurred. And they talked about this issue and never even said that they were found, like didn't make it clear that the kids were actually, that they were found, that the case it didn't even go to trial because it was thrown out. Because they had video evidence that showed that the girl was lying and her story was super inconsistent. I wrote the editor. Wrote the editor saying like, yo, why would you put this in this article, especially without doing your due diligence and even understanding and not making it clear that they were not found guilty of that, didn't even go to trial, and that was thrown out. Nobody cares. Nobody has any sympathy or empathy for men in this society. We talk about it. Leslie, what were you saying earlier? We live in a society where it's not okay for men to cry. We're condoning and allowing and standing up for women that are allegedly Me Tooing dudes that can destroy their entire reputation, their legacy, destroy their family's legacy and reputation, and we don't care. We don't care. So maybe men can't afford to be crying out here. Everybody, why do we want men to be able to cry so much, but then we don't want to actually step up and hold the women accountable of doing these men that we supposedly care about wrong, or men that could be in that same situation? Why don't we call out the women? Why are we not enraged? If we really care about women being sexually assaulted on the job and going through all these different things, and if we really do believe as women, if you believe as a woman that you have to work twice as hard to get half the opportunity, wouldn't what she's being accused of offend you? Wouldn't these other situations where these women make stuff up and it comes out that they're lying, wouldn't these situations offend you? Wouldn't the stripper that accused the Duke lacrosse players and then does a podcast 10 years later and says, oh yeah, I made up the whole story, shouldn't that offend you? But we want men to be able to cry. And I'm not saying you in particular, Leslie. I'm just saying overall, like, we want men to be more vulnerable. Damn, how are we going to be more vulnerable? How much more vulnerable does it get than if Joy tries to me to me, and just accuses me and everybody believe? Oh my God! Damn. And Leslie wrote about Joy. I don't think in that clip she was referring to herself. Well, what she was referring to was other people and what they say on Instagram as far as the standards that they have. And what she was saying is keep it a buck. If the dude's fine enough, if he's whatever enough, and if he makes enough money, all those standards go out the window. That's what he was saying. That's what she was saying. That's as far as how I took it. Maybe I'm wrong. It happened in my family too. So who... When these things happen, who says something? The men are scared to say something. What? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm fighting a battle that ain't there. I feel like you know what I feel like right now? I feel like you ever seen Boys in the Hood when Ricky died and Cuba Gooding Jr., he walks in Nia Long's house and he's like, she doesn't know what's wrong, or maybe she doesn't know, and he starts swinging at the air and stuff like that. I feel like that's me right now. I feel like that's me right now. So maybe I'm bugging. So I say all that to say, maybe I'm bugging. All right, we'll leave it there. All right, so we got a couple more videos to get through quickly. I have to show y'all this this Sunny hosting video. All right, so we got a couple Sunny hosting videos to play. We're going to have fun and finish off with her. So, all right, so we can finish off on a fun note. So I'm glad that it ended up happening like this. All right, so what's the first video? The first video is, I think, by way of Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly, where are you? All right, here we go. We got a funny one. We're going to finish off with a funny one. All right, let me share this. Get y'all tell me, am I bugging? I think I'm bugging. Now I'm looking at it totally different now. I'm bugging. It's me. My Joy Taylor didn't do anything wrong. Matter of fact, I'm standing up for Joy Taylor. Matter of fact, Joy Taylor, you're so beautiful. You're lovely. Oh my God, if I ever just saw you, like I would just have to tell Maya, like it's over, I'm done. And I just I risk it all for Joy. I just really want to make that clear. I think that's important. All right. And if you, let's just leave it there. All right. Boom. All right. Let's get this screen shared. Here we go. Megyn Kelly, one of my favorite people on the internet. Where you at? All right, here we go. Take a look at this. Our girl, Sunny.
Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States. Yay! On January 20th of this month. Not everyone's happy about it, and many people would like us to be more focused on the insurrection that he personally unleashed. If you ask them, as we discussed earlier, they think it's as bad as like the Holocaust, and you don't have to take my word for it. Here is Sunny Hostin.
January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery.
Yeah, the January 6th is right up there next to the Holocaust and slavery.
What do you think about Jeffrey
Epstein was a CIA Mossad.
That's another interesting video, but we're not going to go that way. Sunny hosting. This is why I'm getting ready to. I told you, Leslie, I was getting ready to do it. I'm getting ready to generalize. Well, I guess this is different because I'm talking about, well, y'all here. This is why the Democrats lost. One of the many reasons, maybe, or one of the few reasons. I don't know. Maybe it's a few reasons, but real big reasons. Y'all keep running around. And this is the same question that I've been telling. if you think January 6th was an insurrection, I've talked to plenty of people that tell me January 6th was an insurrection. I don't see how it was an insurrection. I don't see it's an insurrection. They came with no guns. Okay, cool. All right. But let's act as if January 6th was an insurrection. Why are you, the same people that believe it was an insurrection, why are you not passionate about finding out the involvement of the January 6th FBI operatives? Uncle Brother made it clear on the last show. That would be my one question. Now, we're not going to go into that because we already took a deep dive into that on the last show. But my question is this, or maybe my statement is this. Why is it so that these situations are referred to chattel slavery, the Holocaust, and World War II? Now, I used to hear a whole lot of people say, hey, Dad, what did Trump, he used a lot of hyperboles, right? I don't know if he can hear me. Everybody say Trump used a lot of hyperboles. This woman just referenced January 6th and said it was like the Holocaust, one of the worst days in American history. Do you know how many people died during the Holocaust? Millions of people died. Didn't over 6 million people die with the Holocaust? Do you know how many people died on January 6th? 1. And she was part of the insurrection, right? The quote unquote insurrection. Do you know what, like, so the woman whose family was found out to be owning slaves, because they did the study and Sonny Hostin's family owned slaves. That same woman, she's referring January 6th and saying it's just as bad as what her family did in owning slaves. But let's keep in mind, this is the same group that blames slavery for everything, right? All of our problems in America, let's just blame slavery. It all started with slavery, so therefore we're owed. We need reparations. We need our 40 acres and a mule, or at least another stimulus check. We'll take whatever, right? All these things, right? Why are we allowed, like, do we realize that how, even when you sit back and like listen to what Joy Taylor said about Black women having to work twice as hard to get half the opportunity. I'm sorry, but I look at Sonny and I'm just like, she's an attorney. She's a former prosecutor. It's very hard for me to believe that she had to be twice as good, or that she could have been twice as good at anybody and anything. I'm being honest. She's on one of the most popular shows in daytime television, maybe the most popular shows. But they run around like victims, right? Run around like victims. January 6th. This is, well, it's like so disrespectful to comparing it to World War II. So you compare it to World War II, slavery, and the Holocaust. How many people died in that versus how many people were injured in this insurrection? But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. I thought that this video that I'm getting ready to play y'all, so I got to go back and forth a little bit. Because we're going to play a clip of Officer Tatum's video, because we got to get the beginning of that. Hold on, let me make sure I got it. We got to play the beginning of that, and then we're going to move over to another video. So hold on. Officer Tatum, where you at, baby? Here you go. All right, so we're going to play just the beginning of this one, and then I'm going to move over to another video that I want y'all to see. All right, where are you? Here you go.
And they're talking about threatening him with insurance fraud. I would say you could get about 20 years in prison. So that's a death.
So she's talking about her husband. So her husband, orthopedic surgeon. Let me make sure that I got it queued up for y'all. All right, hold on. Now I like this view, so we're going to rock out with this. Her husband is an orthopedic surgeon, was named in a lawsuit, insurance fraud, and some other stuff. Let's take a look. Let's start the video from the beginning again.
You know, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, you know, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance. And they're talking about threatening him with insurance fraud. I would say you could get about 20 years in prison, so that's a death sentence for him.
All right, hold on. We're going to stop there. Hold on. We're going to fast forward a little bit, and then we're going to move on to a different part of the video.
This one. I've been waiting my whole life for this one. The main that's up here saying Donald Trump is a felon.
It's something that I'm still struggling with, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on is how did a convicted felon resonate more with Americans than a hyper-qualified woman of color? I mean, I just didn't like the optics of a convicted felon sitting in the White House near a fireplace. Now, as Whoopi said, that we have a convicted felon in the White House. Those questions should not be asked of anyone, anytime, anywhere.
You say people who are felons can't vote. Well, why are you letting them run the country? Why, you know? Why is that that's protocol? What's the deal? You know? So
if he gets convicted, every single convicted felon in this country should be able to vote. Well, you think there should also be some soul searching on the Republican side who need to analyze why they would nominate a convicted felon who ran on lies, threats of retribution, and concepts of a plan.
Donald Trump is a felon. How y'all gonna elect a felon? He 5,500 felony charges.
All right, hold on. All right, Officer Tatum. Hold on. There is some irony there, you got to admit. There is some irony. So let's break down what actually happened. And then, you know, I'll get y'all opinion on it. He's not indicted. He's not arrested as far as what I know. But he was named in a lawsuit. Let's take a look. Hold on. Sorry, I wasn't. My fault. I thought I was sharing it. Hold on. Where is it? Here we go.
The View co-host Sunny Hostin's husband, Emmanuel Hostin, has been accused of federal insurance fraud. According to a new lawsuit obtained by Page Six, the orthopedic surgeon was one of 200 defendants named in one of the biggest racketeer influenced and corrupt organization cases ever filed in New York. Emmanuel was accused of federal insurance fraud and, quote, getting kickbacks by performing surgery and billing a company that insured taxi companies and Uber and Lyft drivers. According to the documents, he knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services, including arthroscopic surgeries. The insurance firm, American Transit, was then billed in exchange for kickbacks and other compensation, which were disguised as dividends or other cash distributions. Emmanuel denied the allegations via a statement through his lawyer, telling Daily Mail that his client, quote, denies each and every allegation and that the lawsuit is a blanket scattershot meritless lawsuit by a near bankrupt insurance carrier.
Just want to start off by saying nobody's above the law. Nobody's above the law. It's, I'll be honest, as much as I want to laugh at Sonny, I don't like anybody getting in trouble like that. But yeah. All right. So a situation like this. So this is my field. This is the field that I'm in. This is who I work with. So, and to be totally fair, with a lot of these lawsuits, when they happen against these orthopedic surgeons, they will pretty much round up everybody. So they'll round up everybody. And a lot of the things that he is getting accused of, like there was a doctor that I used to be cool with. He just got accused of like something crazy. It was like working with the, this is going to sound crazy, but he was accused of working with, like, I think it was the Russian mob, they said, and staging injuries or car accidents. So, and just so y'all know, this happens. So this happens. This is a thing where I've been in meetings where people come in and they have like an accident list of people who recently got in accidents or whatever. What ends up happening, this is what a lot of people do. A lot of people will jump in a car. There'll be like 3 or 4 of them in a car, and an accident is staged, and that's way they bleed the insurance company. They say that they have to have surgery, and I've been in a lot of these surgeries. So I now work outside the surgery room. Like, I'm not in the operating room. When I remember being at a surgery center in the Bronx. I'm not going to say the name of it. This surgery center in the Bronx, and I've told this story maybe years ago, but normally with a surgery, you have a scope, a shoulder scope. They go in there, even if they don't repair any ligaments, they're just cleaning it up. You may have some damaged tissue, or they'll take a just like kind of like a very small blade and just clean it up. So to prevent you from having any issues, it's really just them just cleaning it up. Or other times they'll have to operate where, let's say you tear your shoulder. When you pop your shoulder out, you tear your labrum. That's what allows your shoulder to come out of socket. Your labrum keeps your shoulder in socket. Same thing with your hip. Same thing. So I remember being in the waiting room, waiting for a surgery. They were like, yo, you got like 8 surgeries before you. It was more than that. And I told them, I was like, oh, I got 8 surgeries. I'm thinking that's going to take hours, because a scope normally takes, repair is going to take anywhere from an hour, hour and a half. But just a regular scope take 30, 45 minutes. And then they got to turn over the room, do whatever. So that takes a while. So I'm literally thinking I have hours. I remember running down to Arthur Ave and getting some food and coming back. And I remember them running into the room and saying like, yo, where you been? Like, yo, your case has been up. And I'm like, my case? Like, y'all told me we had it was more than 8, but let's say it was 8. Y'all told me we had 8 surgeries before. And I went into the room and the doctors were in there, and there would be the doctor, the PA would already have cut your shoulder. So a lot of times you think you're getting your surgery done by the surgeon. It's the physician's assistant. The surgeon a lot of surgeons may not even touch you, to be totally honest. It is what it is. I'm being honest with y'all. I've seen it. So then not only does the surgeon not touch you much, the physician assistant, they probably opened it up. They may have looked in there a little bit. The surgeon may not even be in the room. The surgeon may be in the other room, because they usually bounce between 2 rooms to brace time. So you got the PA, he'll open your shoulder up, doctor come in there, look at your scope. And then I guess doctors probably get mad at me saying this. It is what it is. The good ones won't. So then the doctor may come in there and, let's say, just look and go right to the next room. Meanwhile, the PA has already gone into the next room, got the next patient, and it's in and out. And the reason why they have surgery, as soon as you puncture, make an incision, then that means that they can code that out to your insurance company. They can bill your insurance company with a particular code that can pay them thousands of dollars, depending on your insurance, thousands of dollars for saying that you were injured. And they can say that they operated on you simply by cutting and going in there and looking. Therefore, they're charging the insurance a lot of money. Insurance doesn't want to pay it. Now they're paying out more money, and it impacts everybody, whether you have surgeries or not. So when you sit here and wonder like how the insurance companies are making so much money, but and you're not even using your insurance, and your payments are still going up, this is one of the reasons why they go up. Now, the insurance company, they could be greedy. They just want their margins to be what they want. So they may be being greedy, but this is another reason. The insurance companies now have to pay out to the doctor, to the surgery center, to both. They got the facility fee and then the professional fee that goes to the doctor. They have to pay these things out. So when they pay these out, they're paying for an amount as if you actually had a real surgery. And they'll say that they did all type of stuff in your shoulder. Really, all they did was look at it, move on to the next one. Just telling y'all what it is. That's what I've seen. So you get a lot of these centers, let's say, where this center is coming under review. So this insurance company may say all the doctors that were involved with this insurance at this surgery center, we're naming the surgery center, we're naming all the doctors. So they lump everybody in one category. So to be fair, just because you are named in a lawsuit does not mean, right? innocent until proven guilty. I got to keep the same energy, right? So just because you're named in something does not mean that you're actually guilty of it. Does not even mean that you had anything to do with it. However, they lump everybody in. I don't know if this is the case with her husband. I think it's just a little funny the way that they mashed up those videos. It is what it is. And because I just don't like Sunny, I don't got no issue with her husband. Well, no, I don't got no issue with her husband. Never met her husband, obviously. But I just thought that was something that a little bit of irony there. So y'all probably looking at it like, why did he just even tell that story? Because I felt like telling the story. Because it's just funny. I can't stand Sunny. I can't stand Sunny. And when I get the chance to take a shot at Sunny, I gotta take. I meant like a verbal shot. Got to be clear on here, right? Got to be clear. Yeah, that's just what I was saying. So that's just my little story. So be careful for all y'all. Be careful. Don't get caught up in any of these schemes when these doctors try to start giving you prescriptions or start trying to give you shots. Just remember, they want to give you all these things to advance your treatment. So when they advance your treatment, they're more likely to be able to set you up for a surgery, because an insurance company, they just don't okay a surgery. That's why you have to go to physical therapy first. They want to see that you got injured, but you're actually trying to get it healthy, and that surgery is the last resort. So once surgery becomes the last resort, and they call it working up a case. So you have to work up the case, which means you have to go through all these steps for the insurance to okay paying for your procedure. So you're going to work through all these things. And when the doctor starts saying, hey, I think you need a shot. I think you need this. So that way they can eventually tell the insurance companies that, hey, the shot didn't work. That painkiller didn't work. They're still in pain. They're still going through it. You're going to be in pain whether you have surgery or not in a lot of cases. My energy is always, if you think you have to have surgery, then you don't. And I think my dad has said this before. You know when you have to have surgery. You know when you have to have surgery. If you just think you may have to have surgery, you don't. You'll know. That's how I would look at surgery. I would never want to, especially if you're going under anesthesia. I would never chance that if I was y'all. Keep in mind, the reason why the doctors want to work you up to the surgery, that's their highest ticket items. So whether you're shopping at the mall, whether you're shopping for a car, whatever it may be, if you go into any store and somebody has a product that they're trying to sell you, they're going to try to sell you the most expensive option. It just is what it is. So just a little something to look out for. Do we have anything else? It's already 11:13. I'm not gonna. All right, so we'll finish off with this. We'll finish off with one. All right. So in the spirit of, we've been talking about men this whole time, and I've been pretty hard on the fellas, about pandering and all this other stuff. My man Donald Trump, he had a tough one on January 6th. Let's finish it off with a video from Donald Trump. And maybe we can. Maybe we can get inspired by this.
Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus?
Because it comes from China.
Racist.
It's not racist at all. No, not at all. It comes from China.
Mr. President, can you just respond to Kamala Harris's campaign attacking you for being in this town because they say there were white supremacists?
Who was here in 2021? Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
You have very low unemployment rate in the US and we have a very high unemployment rate in France. How come? What's the recipe for?
Well, maybe we have a better president than you do.
Pew Research says that there are, for immigrants on the whole,
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out. Go ahead. Are you talking to me?
Yeah, it was just a follow-up of what I just asked you, sir.
You ready? We have the president of Finland. Ask him a question.
I have one for him. I just wanted to follow up on the one that I asked.
Did you hear
what
me?
Did you want?
Did you hear me?
Yes,
ask him a question.
I will, but
I've given you a long answer. Ask this gentleman a question. Don't be rude. Okay, question? Yeah, go ahead. Sure. She's shocked that I picked her.
No.
Like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
Do you want him to bring in Robert Mueller?
What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest. And my dad said, make sure you like the show. Like. And I was about to put it up on the screen and mess with him while Trump was on there. So it would look like he's saying he liked Trump. I should have done that. All joking aside, that's just a funny little mashup. But there's something to say. There's something to say. We live in a world of cycles, right? So a lot of this show I've been talking about a lot of pandering men, or what I call pandering men. Everybody doesn't have to feel the same. That's just my opinion. It's cool. But a lot of men that are scared to speak their mind, scared to speak what's real, scared to say anything that's going to shake or potentially offend a certain group of people. This is why people like Trump. This is why Donald Trump won. Because like it or not, he's not scared to say what he believes in. He's not looking like Cam Newton is looking. Cam Newton didn't even look confident in what he was saying. It's like, yo, are you getting paid to say this? Like, what's your motivation for even commenting on this? You don't look comfortable. You're not making any sense. You're making a terrible argument. So what's the need to even comment on it? Nobody needed you to comment on it. You didn't have anything to do with it. So why be uncomfortable? At least stand on what you're saying. I can stand on what I'm saying on it. I believe it. May not be true. I may be wrong, but I believe it. I'm being genuine with y'all. So that's why I feel like a lot of people are drawn to Trump. But let's wrap this up. Let's do our 45 seconds very quickly. Like, we can make 45 seconds go. But if y'all aren't familiar with the show, then we do 45 seconds at the end. Visualize, meditate, get your breath work in, do whatever it needs, decompress, whatever you need to do to rid yourself from all the anxiety and tension that I just pushed on y'all with all of my complaining and whining and everything else I've been doing. So 45 seconds. Let's start now. Take the time to do whatever you need to do. If you're in a safe place, then close your eyes. Ready, go. One last breath. Oh, we went overboard. All right. Inhaling all positive energy, exhaling all the BS. I said a quick 45 and we went over. Yo, I love y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all more than y'all know. I need y'all to remember. This is what I need y'all to do. These are just my opinions. I may be completely wrong. I'm open to the fact that I may be wrong. But I'm also confident enough to share with y'all exactly how I feel, because if I am wrong, I want y'all to tell me. I want to be able to process it, go back, see it from a different perspective. All those, I'm perfectly fine with that. The only way that I've gotten to think the way that I think now is by doing that. Because if I jumped on here 8 years ago, I'd be looking a little bit different. Maybe I'd be aligned with Dr. Umar and all. I don't know. At least definitely maybe 10 years ago. But yeah, and it's cool. Like, give opinions, give strong opinions, and back it up with whatever research or experiences you feel, but then be open to say, like, yo, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong on everything that I said today. I'm cool with that. I'm still having fun with y'all. I'm still engaged, and I still feel that that I'm gaining something from it, because I respect the opinions. I respect, you guys giving your comments, sharing your thoughts. I know it can be very hard to give a thought. It's easy for me. I got the mic. It's very hard to be typing, and y'all know me. I may read y'all comments later and then it's sounding wrong. I try to be good with it, but it always ends up happening where sometimes I lag behind. So I totally get it. I totally get it. With that said, I had a good time with y'all tonight. Cheers to all y'all. I hope we're still on on our path to, if you looked at this as a new year, a reset, I hope that you're in a place where you're able to build. It's not about motivation for me. It's not about getting everything done in a short sprint. Let's just set ourselves up to be able to look at this year as a marathon, or look at it as whatever race you want to look at. But we want to just keep building on the momentum. We want it to snowball. We don't want to just work hard and then stop and get tired and get sidetracked and get off of our goals, get off of our purpose, and just not be focused. So that's what I'll leave y'all with. Strength and honor, onward and upward. Y'all know what we're here to do. Elevate on purpose. That's both from an intentional standpoint as well as challenging ourselves to become the best leaders we can become and who we need to become in order to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. Let's work together. Let's figure it out, whether it's relationships, whether it's partnerships, whether it's friendships, whatever it is across the board. We are better when we work together. And that was, I believe, Uncle Brother's initial point earlier when he was making the statement, behind every successful man is a good woman. We are better together. We are better together. So no matter what you took away from what I said earlier, I believe that's what Uncle Brother was trying to say. We are better together. We are at our best together. So therefore, it's on all of us to work together. Let's move the resentment to the side, move the pride to the side, move the ego to the side. I'm talking to y'all, but I'm looking at me on the screen as well. So I'll do some self-reflection on that as well. But yeah, let's get to the bag. Let's get to the bag. Mom, I'm still on the show. She's texting me, knowing I'm on the show. She in the next room. All right, that means it's time to get off. All right. Get to the bag, right? Get to the bag. That's what we always finish off. What's in your bag is in your bag. When I say get to the bag, that's all the things that are going to lead you along your purpose, all the things that you got to collect along the way that you'll know that you're on path with what your goal is and eventually getting there. So what's in my bag? Peace, love, and happiness, and of course, health, wealth, and in everything we do, integrity. And on that note, I shall see y'all on Friday. Mama Lay, I'm going to make sure I catch up on what you and Maya were talking about, and I will be more informed, I promise you, on Friday, so we can discuss that as well. On that note, I shall see y'all soon. Ew.